Teenager therapy, because we have problems too.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Teenage Therapy. I'm Gael,
I'm Thomas.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Mark.
I'm Isaac.
and welcome back to the first episode of 2021.
Yay.
I know. This is the first episode actually in our 4-part series presented by JanSport's Light in the Load initiative, which is an initiative aimed to help young people tackle the mental health crisis because so many of us are depressed and anxious. And for what reason? Why do we have so much mental illness? I don't know. That's an interesting question though. But thank you, JanSport, for passing the mic to us, because who knows mental health more, or who knows young people's mental health more than young people themselves, right? So it's a new year. 2021.
Yeah.
2019 was 2 years ago.
Yeah, this is the year where we all turn 18. Isaac is turning 18 this month.
January
2
18th.
weeks.
January
Yeah.
18th.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
We're graduating and
Thank
then we're
God.
going off to college. All in this year.
Yeah.
Pretty
Possibly
excited.
moving
Yeah.
out.
I mean, like,
Dude, I never thought of that. By the end of this year, we're all gonna be in college.
Might be moved out too.
Oh,
Sheesh. We're going to be in a different spot by the end of this year.
Differences, cars,
We're going to be in a
driving.
really
For
different
real.
spot.
Yeah.
We might not even be gathering in this room anymore.
You can be in
What?
the studio.
Bro.
Oh,
damn.
yeah.
Sheesh.
I mean, I've been looking forward to, like, graduating and going off to college ever since, like,
Since you were a child.
yeah, since I was a child. Like, I was just so desperate to, like, grow up and, like, get out of here. But now that it's actually coming up, I don't know if I'm ready. Do you guys feel like you guys are ready?
I don't know if I'm ready for college. But I think I am ready to graduate. Like, I wasn't, like, when I entered high school, I wasn't necessarily eager to, like, immediately graduate. But now that I'm a senior, I just feel that I just wanted to, get it over with, get my diploma, and finish all my classes, and then finally go to college. But
Wow.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely
Yeah.
excited. Not feeling too sad, surprisingly. And I think it's partly because of online school and
Okay.
virtual, where I don't
Mhm.
really feel the same attachment,
Yeah.
connections, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's easier for me to, I don't know, detach myself.
Yeah. It's just so crazy how fast these 4 years went by.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was,
We didn't have a senior year.
yeah.
We probably won't actually.
Yeah.
No, I
we're
really
not
don't
going
think
to
I don't
so.
think we
To be
will now.
honest
I
here.
thought we might get 2 months. I don't think we will at all.
Uh-uh.
Well, actually, Biden is going in, so maybe he'll do some lockdowns, 3 weeks. We still got like maybe a month left.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe in a graduation, dog. That's what we get for making fun of the seniors last year. That's what we got.
We did. We had the audacity to
We're
do
like,
that.
ah! Now look at us. Ooh.
Fine.
I mean, the colleges, like, waived our SAT scores
Yeah.
and all
Wow,
that.
that was
So
cool.
Finally finished.
I think that's a win for us. But yeah, I'm scared, but I'm also really hopeful. But I do find myself, like, dwelling on the past a lot and, like, worrying too much about the future. So it makes me really question, am I actually, like, living my life to the fullest right now? Because I watched this Pixar movie called Soul. It was really cute, really good movie, and it kind of made me rethink my life because the main character basically realizes that, like, maybe he says he has taken his life for granted, and I feel like I have, because all I do is, like, let my past experiences bring me down, and then I just keep on worrying about what the future holds.
Have you ever catched yourself living in the present? Do you do that often?
Like, what do you mean?
I don't know, because I think from what I know you, I always see you worrying either about the future or the past, but I never see you just be like, honestly, today is like, right now is like a really good moment, or
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm constantly thinking about my past. And then that kind of it makes it hard to get out of that depressive like cycle because I'm letting all of my bad memories and all of these dark times kind of haunt me and I'm not letting go of it. But at the same time, I'm also really worried about like what the future holds and that brings a lot of anxiety. So, and I think like everyone does this. Some people know how to manage it better than others, but for me, I have a really hard time just living in the present. I still haven't found like the right balance or method of like living just in the moment. Do you guys like live in the moment or do you reminisce or
Something I
worry a
do.
lot?
Something I do. In order to bring myself to the present, I look at my hands, because when I look at my hands, I feel like these hands are responsible for the things that they're doing, and I'm able to do these things because of my hands. Just like picking up my phone or picking up the backpack, and I also think like, what am I doing too? So when I'm like brushing my teeth, I pick up my hand or pick up the toothbrush, and I'm moving left and right, left and right. I'm just trying to really ingrain my mind in the things I'm doing in the present, so that I'm not focused on like on the future or the present. I mean, or the past. My bad.
Mm.
That's something I do.
I think that helps with being less of a robot when you go about like each day.
Yeah.
And what I do is I think about the end of things to bring myself to the present. Whenever I catch myself taking something for granted, I'm like, hold on, this might end someday. And it makes me like, when I think about something ending, I think about all the things that I would have missed about whatever it might be, like the podcast or school or a friendship or a relationship, right? And
Yeah.
if I'm ever taking it for granted, I'll be like, well, what if this friendship ends? What will I remember? And I'll be like, I'll remember this time. I remember when we did this.
Mhm.
And then after that, I get like, you know what? I feel happy that I'm not there yet. And like it kind of takes that fear, because when something ends, you like desperately wish you could go back. But what I realize is when I do this, it fulfills and it actually makes going back possible, because I kind of go into the future, like imagine it ending, and then like bring myself and be like, oh my god, it's still good, right? And that kind of brings me joy, just realizing that it still hasn't ended and I'm still living in it, and I could still, it makes me more appreciative too of everything going on. It makes me feel warm and sort of just helps me not take things for granted. And I think that's what it means to live in the present, is to understand that like each day, each moment is something you might miss in the future. So that's what helps me a lot.
I think I relate more to Thomas, because I remember I went through like a period of time where I was just constantly reflecting on like things that have happened, and I mean I remember just feeling like very tired one day, where like thinking of these past events and everything that have affected me negatively, and just constantly bringing it up in my head. It was just really draining, like mentally and sometimes physically, like, not wanting to get out of bed or wanting to do certain things. And I think just finally getting tired of feeling that way, I was just ready to focus on like the present and sometimes even the future. And similar to how Gail was saying, like, I sometimes catch myself, like, I realize this specifically with my mom. um, I'll see her doing certain actions, or she could literally just send me a message, and I'll read it, and I feel like so like grateful. Like it's so random too. Like she could be on her tablet or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'll just suddenly get like this feeling of like, wow, it's just like she's right there. I don't know. Do you get
yeah,
that?
I've like said it before, right? Like you just like see like they're still here. Like
yes.
I could appreciate this moment.
Yeah.
Exactly. But sometimes it does make me sad, because when I see that, I think of her like,
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard, but yeah, that's how I feel. And I think it is easier at least for me, when I'm with friends, to be present. I don't know why. I think it's just because I'm not alone with my thoughts. I have more people like to converse with and stuff, so I'm more able to like be actively present.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I remember I went through like this little period of time where all I did was just dwell on the past. I kept thinking of like how much happier I was, all the happy little moments I had, all the really horrible shit that happened. Like it was bringing me down, and I would wake up every day and I would just wait for the day to end. Like I wouldn't do anything. I would just keep on thinking about what happened and how I wish I could change everything. And it was like it got really, really bad. And that's when I actually reached out to, well, my mom. I opened up to my mom about my problems, and then that's when I got a therapist. I don't think I've mentioned it on the podcast yet, but I did get a therapist a few weeks ago, maybe like 2 months ago. I don't really know. But it's, I feel like so far recently it's been better. I do, I don't find myself like dwelling on the past as much or worrying about the future. I know how to like just stay in the present and distract myself. But that also kind of like brings in the question, am I actually happy or am I like just distracted with like whatever I'm doing? So am I like processing my thoughts? Am I actually getting over something or just ignoring them? Which I guess could be a good thing, but yeah.
I do that sometimes or like to distract myself from what I'm feeling. I'll just like overwhelm myself with work, and it works sometimes. I mean, I'm not going to lie, because when you don't have time to really focus on like or processing your emotions or something, I mean, you're just aimlessly doing things until, of course, there's the end of the day, and then you're alone with your thoughts, and it's like, oh damn,
Yeah.
you're back. But yeah, I do find myself doing that sometimes.
Not processing your emotions.
Yeah, and I think that happened to me yesterday. Where I thought that I thought I made so much progress, with like the certain area or whatever. And I felt like, like I was finally doing good, like I was moving on, like I was doing good. And then just like certain actions or words will just bring me all down again. It's like right from the beginning, it feels like you're starting over. And especially because it was the new year, like this happened yesterday, so it was like 2 days in. I just felt so shitty, I guess. I felt like if this is how the new year is gonna go on, I'm not going to be looking forward to it. But I think I'm okay now, but it just feels bad when somebody does something, even if they don't mean it, and it just feels like all your progress is just
Yeah. It's just like a
started
reminder.
again. It's a reminder.
Right.
A reminder. That's really
Like,
good. Yes.
Like I was doing really good. Like I feel like break was much needed for myself. And like I was going into the new year with such high hopes and expectations for myself. Like it's just so stupid how one single person can just bring that all down and make you feel so stupid and naive for even having hope in the first place. Um, but I mean, I guess it's just like really a learning process. I don't really have like advice or like really, I'm not really
Yeah.
going anywhere with this. I'm just kind of sharing my experience, I guess. Yeah.
But
Low-key, no,
sorry.
I was gonna say like me too, dude, because lately I've been finding myself finding validation from like a certain someone, right? from my girlfriend. I'm gonna just say that. From my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody else, right? Can't
Could
hide that.
be?
But like, yeah, and then I don't know. It's been getting pretty bad. I've been catching myself like getting sad over like whether or not she's not doing the things that I want her to do, or if she's like even like something simple as like posting me online, right? When I don't see that for some reason, I feel like, oh, I'm not getting that thing I needed, the thing I wanted.
Mhm.
And then and like I felt like that was getting so bad, and so like she doesn't know this, but like I like muted her spam account because I found myself getting too much validation from that spam account. So I'm trying to prevent myself from getting that validation so that I can live without that validation, if that makes sense.
That
Mhm.
does.
It does. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a learning process. And I'm not the best at this, but I'm just trying to make sure, or I'm trying to prevent the things that I can control like right now. You
It's
get what
good
I
that
mean?
you're at least doing something about it, because a lot of
Before
people
it
wouldn't even
gets,
catch
like,
themselves. Yeah.
yeah.
They just keep going on, and before you know it, you're like, oh shit, what happened?
Yeah, for sure. But like that's because like I knew like from the past, I learned from my past experience, like I was down bad because of that, from doing that, from finding that validation from the cast. So thanks to the past experience that I got, learning from the past, I was able
Mm-hmm.
to improve the
Yeah,
present.
that sounded like
or the
old
future.
Mark. That sounded like freshman year Mark.
What?
What you just said, like about like feeling like needing to be validated.
Yeah?
That reminded me like a younger self.
Yeah, I remember we used to
Mhm.
have conversations about that, right? Like
Mhm.
I would get like sad
Yeah.
because a girl I'm talking to wouldn't like text me back or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That-
Like the biggest thing is like, I always catch myself. You can learn from the past, right? Or you
Yeah.
can dwell on your regrets. And then same thing with the future. You can learn, or like you can plan for the future, or you can, just worry about the future. I don't know if I'm dwelling on the past or trying to learn from it, Like, have you all ever caught yourself, because you could say you're learning from the past, like, for example, like you really wanted to do something, but you didn't do it. I can do it now, right? But I'm just worrying that, like, I'm running out of time and I never did that thing.
I never know. I feel it feels like you never truly know what it is you're doing because no one tells you what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's like I'm just guided by, like, my inner voice. Because, obviously, like, you can do something in your head. You're telling yourself, I need to do this now. Like, I'm going 18.
Yeah.
But and then, like, you just don't do it.
You just don't do it.
Yeah.
I do that a lot. Like, it's sort of like I know what I have to do. I just can't bring myself to do it for some
Yeah.
reason.
It's so weird.
I feel like those are two completely different people. The person inside your head and the
Mm.
person right now and like in this space.
Uh-huh.
You feel me? So when you the inner person is saying do these things, just because you think it, you may think that, oh, I'm kind of like working towards it, but you're really not unless you actually do it right
Do
now
it.
in this space.
You can't just think about
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Because I was thinking about that a few days ago. Like, I often catch myself, especially in like family situations where, like the way I act around my friends and family is like the opposite, right? With
Yeah.
friends, I'm like loud and energetic, and with my family, I'm like quiet and reserved. It's like
Mhm.
two different people, and like I see myself with my family. I'm like, it'd be so much more fun if I could like bring like myself out, right?
Yeah.
And like I literally catch myself like go like do something, and then I just sit there and I just can't do it, and it seems like I'm like paralyzed, like like not able to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I think that does make sense, that it's two different people.
It is.
Do you think
Uh-huh.
it's because you feel shy around your family, or
I think it's just hard to start. It takes a lot of willpower to go out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Dude, it does, especially for like New Year's and Christmas. My family, like, they're like, oh, let's have fun. Come on, you're always like that with your friends. And like literally I'm there quiet. But when my friends, like the next second I go into my room, I'm talking to them and I'm like just screaming, laughing. And it's not like I don't want to have fun for my family or I'm telling like them they're boring. It's just it's like a
so
natural
hard.
thing. It just happens.
It's so
Mhm.
hard.
Like you
Yeah.
can't control it.
that did happen to me? I forgot when it was. I think it was a few days after Christmas. My dad invited my uncles and some of my cousins, and I just didn't leave my room. Like I really didn't. They needed help with connecting the Bluetooth or something. I did that, and like I went back to my room, And even my mom brought the food to my room. And I just felt like I couldn't go out there, you know? It's
Mhm.
just,
It's weird.
maybe I was in my head about it, but I couldn't bring myself to actually go out there and be like, hi, how are you guys? Hi, uncle, whatever.
I
Like,
just don't
I
have that
just-
relationship with them.
it's not only that, it was draining to do that, you know?
Mm,
yeah.
It would have just been like too much energy for me at the time, and I was just like, I just stayed in my room. And even afterwards, like when they all left, I heard my dad saying like to my mom, he was like, oh yeah, like I don't even think she left her room, like she didn't even greet them. And I know he probably thought I was just being like stuck up and rude, but it was just, I like, I just couldn't bring myself to do it that
Yeah.
day. I don't know
Yeah.
why. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, some days it's just harder to do things, and I think that's perfectly fine, you know?
The thing that sucks is that I feel like it's hard when you don't grow up that way, right? When you don't grow up having like, being with your family and having fun with them and playing with your
Mm.
cousins and like your uncles and whatnot. It's hard to grow up like that and then be expected to do that when you're like 17.
Yeah.
I think that makes it so much more difficult. And like part of me wishes that I would have grown up doing that. But I didn't. So that's like very unfortunate. And it sucks because like I see like since I'm like my family's only like 3-4 people because everyone else is in Mexico, and I always see like my mom being like the life of the party, right? Like she's always like having fun and like doing her thing, and she's always like, come like join me, come like dance with me or whatnot, and I just can't bring myself to do it. And then I think about how sad it makes me because I'm like, we're just getting older, I'm getting older, she's getting older, and like I know I won't always like be here living with her right next to her to be able to do this. And so it sucks that you can't do it then. And like I know it's something I'm gonna regret, but it's still like so hard to bring yourself to do it.
Yeah. I remember
Oh, sorry, go.
Jake in a like a past podcast episode. He gave this words of advice, which is called the 3-second rule, I think.
It's like the 5-second
yeah.
rule.
5-second rule. Yeah, you basically count from 5, and then whatever that you wanted to do at the end of 1, you do the thing that you have to do.
Mm-hmm. I haven't tried it yet. I mean, I tried, but then I just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
And then you stop like
5, 4, 3, and I just keep going, and
Dude,
it's
I-
so
you
hard.
found
I
a
tried
number or
that
something?
and I was like, why am I being ruled by 5 seconds? And I was just being stupid.
Just questioning time.
Yeah, I was like, it's stupid. But it does work for like a while. As long as you don't lose yourself.
All right, let me quickly before, just in case the camera runs out, let me like do the mid roll.
Okay.
So thank you for listening. I hope you got something valuable out of that. I want to thank also JanSport and the Light in the Load. I want to thank JanSport too and the Light in the Load initiative for presenting this episode and sponsoring this episode. I think it's really important to give the mic to young people, and when brands use their platform to promote mental health conversations, I think that is like the most important thing they could do, especially when you cater to a young audience, because that's really what we care about, is that you show you also care about us and you do things that show that, not just words but actions. And I think this is a really great start and a good example of that. And so they did hook us up, so you could visit jansport.com/lightintheload to learn more. And while you're there, if you need a new backpack for university, college, or whenever we go back to school, or whatever else you need it for, you could use our code for 20% off JanSport backpacks. Teenager Therapy, all one word, all capitals. It has to be in all capitals for it to work. So thank you, JanSport, for sponsoring this episode and this series. And use code Teenager Therapy, all one word, all capitals, to get 20% off your order. Do you think you're living your life to the fullest?
Nah, for sure, no.
No?
No, I feel like there's so many like things I want to do. Like for example, 2 months ago, like a month ago, like I started playing like or trying to get good at the guitar, and I'm just realizing I could have done that when I was like a lot younger, when I was like 13 or whenever I wanted to do it. And I'm just thinking about the past. Like if I did everything at that age, like from then to now, we're about to turn 18. That's like 5 years when I first turned 13. And I'm thinking about how much I could have like progressed at everything, you know? And especially like, just staying home and then just like going on TikTok, seeing everyone's talents, like drawing, painting. Even just this year or last year, sorry, I could have just been doing things during the quarantine and like getting really good at even just one thing, but I just didn't do it.
Why not? Did you not want to, or you just
It's like
did you not even think about it?
I didn't even think about it. I put these things to like the side, and I know I want to do them, and in my head it's like do them, do them, do them, but then I just
You
don't.
never start. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. If there's something you get out of this episode and you're young, is think about what you want to be really good at in 5 years, because you will be so glad you started if you start when you're young.
And when I was young, I would always hear people say that like start now, start doing. I'm like, that's stupid. I'm never gonna be that person. But now I'm that person.
Look at us now.
If you're young, just do what you want to do. Like, just have no regrets, to be honest.
Exactly. I think especially when you're young and a teenager, like 13 through like 19 is a really special age. You're like in your prime for a good while of it. You know, you're young, you're healthy. It's kind of like it's a nice phase of your life. You know, it doesn't get much better after that. And so I think it's important you try to live your life to the fullest, your youth to the fullest, whatever that might mean. I think it just means having experiences. Have as many experiences as you can, because a lot of these things you won't be able to have after you're no longer a teenager. And I think you should try different things and experience new things and new feelings, and you'll be a lot better off when you're older, because you'll have so much experience and you're able to realize, and I think you'll just come across as a more mature individual because you have so much more experience and learning, and you'll have learned a lot. So in essence, I think, yeah, go out of your comfort zone and try something new that you have always wanted to do.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily agree that it doesn't get much better than this.
I was about to
Yeah.
say.
'Cause
Just
I
your
don't know-
youth, your health.
I don't know
your
about
health.
that, but I was gonna say that the media and like the movies, the TikTok, they really hype up this experience as a teenager. There's like the coming of age thing where you're supposed to be like riding, like going through
Through a
the
subway.
yeah
through a
and stuff
tunnel.
like this. Like you have these high expectations for what you're supposed to do while you're a teenager, and when you don't fulfill them, you feel like you're missing out. And I don't think you should feel that way. I think you like do what you can do, try and have fun as much as you can, because well, we don't really have like that many responsibilities or anything. So take advantage of like the time we have to find yourself, find your friends, and just have a good time. But you don't need to keep on searching and to try to get this high school or teenage coming of age experience that everyone
It's
is
not
talking
real.
about. It's not real. But yeah, I just think that's a really big misconception that like a lot of kids have at a young age. So when they go through all the bad shit of being a teenager, they just feel really disappointed and feel like they just missed out. But I mean, as long as you had a good time, does it really matter?
Yeah. I just
No.
want to say
Yeah.
too, a lot of these movies and stories and novels and stuff like that, they're ideal because they're just trying to sell something to you. They're trying to sell a story. So it really is just a revenue scheme.
Yeah.
Capitalistic.
Nothing's real. It's interesting. This is so off topic, just quickly.
Yeah.
The shows back then used to be more about happiness and joy and love of your life. And now the shows that are popular are like mental health, mental illness, the realities and the dark side of being a teenager.
Yeah.
Euphoria, Grand Army, 13 Reasons Why.
True, yeah.
Before it was like Perks of Being a Wildflower and all those types of movies. That's interesting to me.
It's wallflower.
Whatever. But anyways, that's it for this episode. I think to wrap it up, live in the present. Don't think about, if you think about the past, you'll get depressed, you'll get sad. If you think about the future, you'll get anxious. If you think about the present, you'll be happy and find joy in what you're living through right now. And I think that's important. So thank you for listening. Happy New Year. Set some goals for yourself for 2021. you'll find yourself in a very different spot this year by the end of the year. And yeah, thank you, JanSport, for sponsoring this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.